Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. Today, we've got a little bit of a sad, I wouldn't say, must be a sad show for most of us fans, because we've got a situation where we've got some terrible news today. The news that we've gotten kind of broke last night on the live show, when we were chatting about the One Day Cup and doing our One Day Cup talk about Anik Nokia and Sasanda Magala. At that time, it was only one person that had reported it, um, and then some tweets were released. But only this morning did we get the full confirmation that the rumors were true. So on today's show, we're going to be reacting to the news of Anik Nokia and Magala being ruled out. I will reveal to you guys as well the new squad list and the squad update. And I'm going to also show you guys what has been happening on Facebook. I posed a question on Facebook today, asking people if they were happy with the squad now currently, um, after this news has obviously broken. Obviously, who's been pulled up to replace Anik Nokia and Magala, and what they thought about that too. It's raining here, guys. I don't know if you can hear it. It's raining quite hard in Cape Town. It is quite cold as well. So I am sitting here shivering a little bit. So just bear with me if I'm a little bit on the slower side of things today. Just trying to bite it over here in my studio room. But before we get going, before we get started, don't forget to please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell for all future videos. We are so close to that 4,000 mark. So please tell your friends and families to join Cricket Fanatics Magazine. That anybody that are South African cricket fans and love South African cricket and want to have a conversation about it, this is the place to be. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to the magazine. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can download it right away. Smash the like button, comment and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Not really looking forward to discussing this topic, but I'm looking forward to talking to you guys and seeing what you guys have to say in the live chat. So let's get into it. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohidin. And this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And I've got some obviously bad news. And obviously it's not the greatest of news that we're going to be sharing over here with you guys today. But Anik Nokia and Magala have been ruled out of the World Cup, as you can see over here on cricketfanaticsmag.com. White Ball head coach and Rob Walter today confirmed that Anik Nokia and Sasanda Magala have been ruled out of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 in India. Nokia has suspected low back lumbar stress fracture and will be under care of a specialist team on the next steps in his recovery. The 29-year-old seamer experienced lower back spasms during the second Betway One-Day International against Australia earlier this month and underwent specialist assessment and scans. Magala was part of the recent white ball tour against Australia and has given every opportunity for full recovery and participation. Ultimately, it was decided that the risk associated with his inclusion in the squad outweighed his obvious value to the team. Walter has named Hollywood Bets all-rounder Andile Pechlukwayo and Momentum Multiply Titans team seam bowler Lazard Williams in the finalized 15-player squad. Commenting on the squad, Walter said, it's usually disappointing for Andrich and Sasander to be missing out on the 50 over World Cup. Both are quality players that add immense value to the Proteas. We sympathize in their omission and will continue to provide all the necessary support as they work towards their return to competitive action. This provides an opportunity for Andile and Lazard on a global stage. Both players have been part of our winter programs, as well as having represented South Africa in recent white ball tour against Australia. They offer great skill sets, and we're excited to have them to complete the 15-player squad for this year's World Cup. The squad departs for India on Saturday, 23 September, Thursday, 21 September 2023. South Africa squad ICC. I don't know what that is. Why that's there. Yeah, I don't know what that's there. South Africa squad ICC Men's Cricket World Cup India 2023, and that's the squad that they've released over there. I'm gonna remove it because I did make a graphic for it. So I'm going to show you the graphic. It's our usual graphic that we normally do. Wait, oops, that's incorrect. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Here's a squad for you guys. Okay, so obviously you know about the rest. The batters, Temba, Quinton, Riza, Aiden, Heinrich, David Miller, Rassi van der Dussen, Andile Pechelkwayo, Marco Jansen is now the two all-rounders. Keshav Maharaj, the Bray Shams, are the spinners. Cherukutsi, Lungi, Ngidi, Lazard Williams, and Kagiso Rabada cap off that particular squad. Yeah, so it is quite nerve-wracking and shocking that this is the case, that we're losing two big, well, at least Andrich Nokia is a massive, massive loss. I mean, Magala, I'm not sure if he would have played every single game, but it is a little bit of a crappy one from that perspective. So what I'm going to do next is I did post the squad and the new squad on Facebook, and I did ask a question to the fans as well to try and get an understanding of what they think about the squad. So I said, question to South African fans, what are your thoughts on the World Cup squad? Any changes you would have made to this squad of 15? And I'm going to read out all the comments that are necessary. Suraj Campbell said, Anrich Nokia is a huge loss for South Africa, but CSA should have a genuine pace bowler like Wayne Parnell, Corbin Bosch, Ethan Bosch, Hardesville Yoon, Bayer Swanepoel, Nandre Burger, Otniel Batman, Mihlali Mpongwana in place of Lazard Williams, and also should have picked in the middle order backup batter instead of Pechelkwayo. If anything happens to Heinrich Klaasen and David Miller, because Riza can't be replaced them, he can't be bat below number 3. Anjam Khan said, we always have wasted option for replacement like Lazard, Buren, Pechelkwayo, Parnell. Such a poor selection and replacement. First, we need to make our players, especially pacers, reach out of IPL who spoil Proteas cricket. If you're in a replacement condition, you just need to check some youngsters. Bosch, Tandontini, George Linder. Those Pechelkwayo and Lazard is a waste of time, he says. Wilfred Miller says, on paper, it is never very good squad. However, I do have my doubts about Lungi. On paper, this is a very good squad. However, I do have my doubts about Lungingiri, and isn't Anrich Nokia ruled out because of injury or just left out? I would have preferred Yanaman Malan over RVD. He has been really struggling in the last year or so. Otherwise, I think we can handle the selection quite well. Can't really get all players you want. Werner obviously said Lungi did very well in the ODI series. Nokia is out with a back injury. Malan has been in a lot worse from Rassi. A lot worse form than Rassi, who at least made a solid 62 in the fourth match against Australia. And Gerard responded and he said, they will never leave Nokia out. He was injured during ODI against Australia. Malan has been totally out of form and even lost his CSA contract. And Fena said, I think you are replying to the wrong person. Wilfred says, Werner Rasmus, I just saw the post about Nokia and Magala. As for RVD, I think he always been the slow starter, but we're talking about this last 10 matches, of which he only got that half century. And hope for the best and back them. Should have included Yanaman Malan, says Shailen Singh. The, the best I wish Nokia would have been there, but such is life. Dishan Goban says, Andrich, the second fastest bowler in the world and our best bowler across all formats in the last 2 years, will be missed. Would prefer Linda Stubbs or Fortain to Williams and Andile. Horatio Smith said, the only bowler that would make me duck when partnering Kagiso is Gerald Coetzee and Gidi. Lazard just run in, and when they get hit, they just go through the motions. 50 overs, KG should finish his spell on the trot, or either than Coetzee at full tilt and have KG save 3 overs for the end. But they need a bowler or two who can bowl flat out 10 overs both sides. I'm talking about being total hostile and maybe get 5-6 sticks between them. The game is then halfway in their pocket. I know it's a modern era and the game has changed, but I mean, openers should be like the bowling attack the West Indies had in the 80s. Zolisa says, yes, I would have loved to see Riley Rousseau as an extra batsman. I don't know why. He's a T20 batter and not a ODI batter. He hasn't played ODIs since he's retired. Or not retired, since he quit to go play Kolpak. He is one clinical batsman who is consistently aggressive and utterly reliable. So if I was selector, he'd most certainly be top of my list. But hey, I'm not so as pathetic as I ought to support the men called up represent our beloved country. Solani says, I'm happy with the squad, and I honestly do not understand the issue that people have with Rassi because he's been our best ODI player. Yes, he lost form at some point, but this is starting to gel now, and he's coming back to his old self. So I would definitely play him. I would have preferred Parnell over Lazard Williams, though, unless he's injured. Otherwise, if he's fit, I'd pick him. It's a good squad, especially with Janssen finding form with the bat. It helps provide that cover if the top six fails. It will be interesting to see which bowlers will form part of our starting 11 most of the matches. I believe it's time for Rabada to deliver now. It's time. So you see, I don't think we'll have a major issue when we're picking two spinners. I think then it's fine. I think we'll be fine. But if we're gonna play only one spinner, I think that's when we're gonna start to maybe have a little bit of issues. People need to understand that it's still a winter in India. When the World Cup starts, many of the pitches will have pace and bounce. It's only later on, March, April, that pitches get tired and will spin more. Ex-cricketers like Captain Morgan and Simon Dool. We have now our best 11 remaining in this World Cup is Quinton de Kock, says Anjam, Temba Vuma, Aiden Markram, Van der Dussen, Heine Klaassen, David Muller, Marco Jansen, Lungingiri, Kagiso Rabada, Keshav Maharaj, and Tabray Shamsi. He says Pechlekwaya wasted, Lazard wasted, Coetzee runs machine wasted, Riza Hendricks for batsman replacement. We have very rare options. Carl Williams says Pechlekwaya had many chances and did nothing to impress. Please give someone else a chance. Yeah, and this guy always just posts a screenshot of exactly the same thing that we're talking about. So that's that. So yeah, horrible news. I think it's terrible news from South Africa's perspective, and I feel very sorry for Anrich Nokia because this is the second time that he's missed out on a 50 over World Cup. It is quite sad. For me, it was a little bit. I was a little bit taken aback, even though he did perform well in this Australia series in the match that he played. Andile wasn't part of any plans, and then all of a sudden they called him up for Magala. I always thought that Wayne Parnell would probably be the one. to replace Magala if he got injured, because I mean he's played for South Africa, he's had game time, so they obviously see something in Andile and they were happy with his performance, and that's why they called him up. So I'm going to support him in this series, because there's no point in now complaining and now talking about criticizing players when they need to go with full positivity into this World Cup. Let me get into the live chat. Amit says Rob will be rethinking about his four paces strategy. I think so. So Raj Campbell says Andrik Nokia is very huge loss for SA. South Africa death bowling will be a concern now, because Rabada Nokia pair is one of the deadly pair in the world. But now all pressure is on KG. TT says, Khalid, how are you, man? I'm good, bro. But sad about this news. Two big blows. Gaurav says six paces doesn't make sense in India. Why aren't they picking a backup spin option? Um, they could have gone with someone like Bjorn Fortuin, but I still think that we are better middle order batter short here. Um, I would have liked to see a middle order batter. If the batter could bowl a little bit too, that would be a bonus. But I would have liked to see another middle order batter that covers the 3, 4, 5, and 6. At the moment, we don't have any cover for Markram, Klaassen, or David Miller at the moment, and that worries me. Frankly, Lazard is not proper replacement for Annik Nokia. Parnell, Bartman, Anneberger, Corbin, Bosch, Huddersfield could be good choice. They have pace. Lazard had a good series against Australia in the T20s, though. I think he bowled really well. I know it's a different format. ODIs is different. But he did bowl really well. I think he was probably our best bowler in the T20 series. So we need to give him some credit. He's not as horrible as people are making him out. He's not horrible like people are making him out to be. He's a decent bowler. He's a very good bowler. Um, uh, is he at the level of Andrik Nokia? Perhaps not. But I think he can, because he's not as quick as Andrik Nokia, and doesn't have the same amount of experience. But I think he can do a decent job when called upon. Because remember, the bowling unit is not about one bowler on its own. It's about bowling as teams, as pairs. I think that's the key. They need to complement each other from both sides of the wicket. Why they did not pick an extra batter? Yeah, but because we knew that this is going to happen. Rob Walter said it in his presser. We had a feeling that if anything happens and any injury happens to a bowler, then what would happen is they would call up a bowler to replace them. I mean, Rob made it pretty clear. Andila never bowls 10 overs in a match. Marco is also struggling to bowl 10 overs. We can't have both of them in the same 11. I would prefer another batsman or spinner instead of Andile, Siskani. I don't understand the reason of picking Lazard. He won't play unless two bowlers are injured at the same time. Instead, should have gone with Stubbs, says Amit. DT says Campbell. So you'd rather have players who would basically never played international cricket to a World Cup. That's a good point, DT. Lawrence says, with Anik out, it's now even more important that we play with two spinners majority of the games. We pick our best team. Both Shamsi and Kesh are in it, in my opinion. More balance with them in it. Yeah, I agree. That's what I said earlier on. I don't think that Lazard would get many games anyway, unless there's only probably when we play two spinners. When we don't play two spinners. You see, that's just there's always small little things that bother me, with these things. But I have to believe that the coach knows more than us. I mean, as a fan, we have to believe that he knows something that maybe we don't know or something. Um, the logical thing for me would have been to pick an extra middle order batter that can maybe bowl a little. I think that would have been probably the best option in my opinion. I think Andile can do a job at 8. Um, but how consistent can he be? I mean, can he be more consistent than Sisanda Magala is the question. So that's the question that we need to ask. So far, he's shown more than Magala. To the ones talking about Andile, I feel he will play only when Janssen is injured. Khalid, you said they won't pick inexperienced players for the World Cup. Williams played only one ODI. Where is that experience, I might have picked young Ethan Bosch. Sorry. He's had international experience. So T20s he's played, and against Australia as well. And he's played a hell of a lot of List A games. When I talk about inexperienced players for the World Cup, I'm talking about guys that sometimes you guys have called players up that you want to see players get put into the World Cup squad that have never played List A cricket in domestic cricket. They haven't even played a List A game in domestic, and some people want to see them get called up. That's the type of inexperience I'm talking about. When I'm talking about Lazard is an experienced domestic cricketer. He's played T20 cricket for South Africa, so he does have experience under his belt and national experience under his belt. He might not have ODI experience under his belt, but he has List A experience under his belt. Would I have gone with him? I probably would have went with an extra batter in the middle order. Uh, that's what I would have probably done, because I doubt he will get many games anyway. I think it will be Lungi, KG, Gerald before him that get picked. So we mustn't forget about Gerald Coetzee. So I think those three will get picked over Lazard at the moment. I think that's how it would be. Otherwise, Lazard would have been in the squad from the get-go instead of someone like Gerald. Khalid, huh? Quinton Cock and KG. Who's BRDR? You're saying Bar Quinton, the Cock and KG. Oh, are you saying Khalid brother? Oh, sorry. Quinton the Cock and KG never perform in the World Cup, says Navneet. But I hope that changes in this one. Any injury will cost us the World Cup. I hope I'm wrong. TT says, Khalid, I think my main concern will be the death bowling, which will have to be helped at some point. Which will have to help at some. Huh? Sorry, Khalid. I think my main concern will be death bowling, which will have to be held at some point. I think they'll try to give Rabada a shout, but if Lungi can at least get into the form he was in 2018, his variation can do as well at the death. Sorry, but I'm just thinking the worst case scenario. I've seen Lungi do it, death bowling, and pull it off. Lungi's starting to get into his rhythm now. I'm hoping that he can do it and he can pull it off. I know a lot's been made of this ICC mentoring picture, the ICC monitoring pitches, and even so, SA won't be turning up in India and play on green mambas. ICC want more grass on wickets, but dead grass won't stop spin. Nortje is our best bowler in the last two World Cups, T20 World Cups, because he didn't play the last World Cup, ODI World Cup. Imagine our death bowling without Nortje. Lungi has become very predictable with his slower balls. Every team knows that Ngidi refers 95% slower balls. That's why nowadays opposition teams picking Lungi's slower balls. That is true. He does, majority of the time, he does favor the short, the slower balls. I did see him bowl a couple of shorter deliveries. He bowled with a little bit more pace in the last game that he played. So I'm hoping that we can see more of that. With these injuries and seeing their replacements, I don't think we will go deep this World Cup. Amnichem was our X factor, says Dex. Lawrence says the ICC had a similar directive with the 2021 T20 World Cup in UAE. We could still span off the square. The likes of India, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan will have games where they play three spinners, says Lawrence. Amit says, in the last 2 years, I've seen pace-friendly conditions in India quite often. I've seen that too, actually. In the IPL specifically, I was quite shocked by how much pace there was in certain wickets. England are also going with two specialist spinners, so I guess we need to read into that tactically. There's something England and Rob know that we don't know. And also remember that Eric Simons is part of this of the coaching staff, and he's quite experienced when it comes to Indian conditions. Sorry, Siraj says death overs will be a huge concern, mainly against quality teams like England, Australia, India, New Zealand, because these teams bat deeper. Amit says, who do you think will accompany Rabada in the death, Janssen or Ngidi? I think Ngidi will probably take that responsibility. If we pick up two spinners, what will happen to our death bowling? KG and Lungi were usually taken to cleaners in the death overs. I hope they're working on that. Harley, the problem with Lungi and Lizard is when they started to get hit, Lungi starts to panic and tries to bowl every ball a slower ball, which the batsman easily predicts and smack him everywhere. Yes, he needs to change it up with a little bit more variations. Siraj says if Jerukutsia works on the variations and especially on Yorkers, he can become lethal because the guys has pace. Yeah, now is Yorker, I've seen him working on that. We saw throughout the series that he was trying it out quite regularly. You're right. That's why I said if his form was like 2080, maybe. But now you're right. It's a bit too predictable. Even so, 90% of the wickets will turn like we saw in the IPL, says Lawrence. Hurt of Nokia missing out is overshadowing horrible choice of replacements. By no means Lazard replaced out and out hit the deck bowler Nokia. How can long boundaries reduce due impact? Talking about that 70-meter boundary instruction by the ICC. I don't think Rob has enough knowledge on Indian conditions, but I think Eric Simons does. So Rashi's Khali, brother, I'm also impressed with left arm wrist spinner. Junaid Dawood can be a future replacement of the Ray Shamsi. He needs to play more, though. He's barely played domestic cricket. He's barely played in the SA20. I'm actually quite surprised you know about him, and I wonder where you've seen him play, Suraj, because he's barely played cricket in the last year. Fans actually don't understand roles and type of pace bowling. Andrich and Sasanda are hit the deck bowlers who come do the job at the death and be enforcers in the middle overs, says Unain. Stuart says, I was surprised. I thought Linda would be in the mix. I'm surprised that you're surprised, Stuart, because we've spoken about George on this channel, and we know that he's lost favor with the national side and the coaches. So I'm surprised that you were surprised about that. Andile is not a 10 over bowler. Khalid, yeah, he's going to have to. Markram's going to have to bowl as well. He's a lot more than what was expected before. Stewart says Pichlequai batted very well on Sunday, but we need more consistency from him when he comes to the crease, especially when we're in trouble, like that game, when we needed to get over that 300 mark. Suraj says Malcolm Knopfel is also a good choice. He is also batting spinning all-rounder for South Africa like England's Liam Dawson. We'll have to see how he plays this time for KZN in Tuskers this season. Khalid, just tell me why the United midfield did not press hard enough in the first half when they had the chance to equalize after conceding the first goal. Because this Manchester United team has a weak mentality. There's something going on there in this team. I mean, when Ragnick said that this team needs open heart surgery, he wasn't joking. There is some rotten eggs in the dressing room. I think that when they concede a goal and there's a mistake that happens, they drop intensity, they drop their emotions drop, they start slouching and walking on the field and stuff. And that's why. I mean, the game ended up 4-3, but I mean, it looks good on paper, but it was a terrible game. I was very irritated last night about that game. People don't watch domestic cricket because if they do, they would know Lazard's been one of the leading domestic bowlers in the past 3 seasons. No problem with his inclusion. I don't have a problem with, like I said, I don't have a problem with his inclusion either. And I think people are being a little bit harsh on his ability. I think Lazard is a very good player. He's been a very good player for some time in domestic cricket. He has an amazing aggression. He has an amazing mentality, and I don't think we can judge him on such a little the international games as well. It's not like he's played a hell of a lot of international games, but he's played some. He's been exposed. Rather than giving someone that has never played international cricket now a go in a World Cup is going to be crazy, crazy risky. So Lazard, I don't see as a bad replacement, but I still do believe that we needed to pick someone as cover for that middle order. I still think we are better short. Andile played one good match. How is he picked? Why do they pick backup spinner? Why don't they pick a backup spinner? Um, Andile is picked on one good match, yes, but I also think that they, because of his international and World Cup experience, particularly, was in the 2019 World Cup as well. Had experience. He actually played very well in the 2019 World Cup. So I think they're hoping that that is going to hold some weight. Khalid, so who would be the stabilizer in the middle overs in terms of bowling? So we've got a strike bowler in KG. We've got a strike bowler in Marco. We got a strike bowler in um, Gerald. So if we have spinners, if we play two spinners, then our spinners will mainly be our wicket takers. Not only our wicket takers, but also our stabilizers within the team. They're going to play a massive role in the middle overs. So that's going to be something that's going to be key. But I think Lungingidi and Antile, if he plays, will probably do that role in the middle overs. It depends because if Lungingidi is going to bowl at the back end with KG, then I see maybe then Andile is probably going to do the middle order job with a spinner, um, like Keshaf in the middle overs, something like that. Marco Janssen will probably open. I mean, Marco Janssen will probably be the first change bowler, maybe, because I see maybe Lungi and KG opening and bowling at the death. That's how I can see it maybe happening. Although in India, Marco Janssen at the death was pretty good in the IPL, so there's a shout there maybe for 1 or 2 overs from him. Could see Leaks runs too much and bowl short ball. That's why Nokia was important. Yes, Nokia was key, and there's nothing we can do about it now. TT says a bit of topic, but Musiala cooked your midfield last night. Yeah, guys, we were terrible. Oh, Lord. Let's not talk about United, please. It's depressing. 6 paces in India doesn't make sense in India at all. Khalid, you're right about Lungi. I do have confidence in him, but it's imperative that they need to work on him and Rabada for death over because I can guarantee we will be in a situation where we need to bowl at the death. We 100% will have to. The worrying factor for me is that Janssen, Giri, Rabada, Dele, and Kutsia aren't really guys who will keep control. This is where our spin will come. There we go. Kesh, KG used to do it. That's what I. That's what I just said now. George said in your interview that Rob called him. Did Rob call him to tell him that he won't never get picked for SA? I don't know what it is exactly. Um, there's something that I wanted to check quickly. Let's see something. Something I wanted to see. Just to double check if I was correct or not. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm not mistaken. He didn't play for Western Province either. So he wasn't selected for Western Province. I don't know what's going on with George at the moment. He didn't get picked for the Western Province side. He might be injured, and that might be a reason as well. So what I'm hearing is Ronaldo was right. No, Ronaldo was not right. I don't agree with what Ronaldo said. I don't agree with what Ronaldo said about Ten Hag. I don't think this is a Ten Hag problem. I don't think this is a Man United manager problem. I think there's a lot going on from that Ten Hag has had to deal with in the first season and the second season. I do think, yes, he was right about certain players maybe having a weak mentality. That is true from that perspective. But like Ollie also said it in an article yesterday that some players think they're better than they are. Me personally, if I have to look at it, I would say Rashford is one of them. I would definitely say that he thinks maybe that he's world class. I don't think he's world class. I think he's a decent player. And when in form, he can be dangerous. But when he's not in form, you can see all his weaknesses. If he's not scoring goals, you can see basically all his weaknesses. He can't still be having such a weak touch at the age that he's at. So there's certain players maybe that think they're better than they are. Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire. Um, I think Rashford falls victim of that too. I think that maybe Who else is there that I can maybe mention that has egos in the team? I think those are maybe the main culprits. Other than that, I think we're sitting with a situation right now where we need to just find that confidence and flair. I think we're missing an extra midfielder next to Casemiro to be able to protect him a little bit because he's been isolated too many times with the way we've changed our way we play this year from last year. We're not sitting back and counter attacking anymore. So we're trying to control possession. And when we're trying to do that and the ball turns over, Casemiro's left isolated. So I think that we need to put in Amrabat in that midfield. He's dealing with, I mean, all of our signings are injured except Onana. Well, injured at the start of the season except Onana. How can you start a season like that? That's madness. Um, both of our both of our centre backs were injured, and now one of them is still. Both our left backs are injured. One of our right backs are injured now. Mason Mount is injured. I mean, it's Amrabat, our new signing, is injured. It's mental, and we didn't play with a striker either because we only have one striker, I would say, because Martial is basically a shadow at the moment. Power play bowling is important. No bowler can provide control. I will be interested to see if they take Andrich or Sasanda as reserves. They're not taking traveling reserves, Unain. With Andrich out, what do you think of our chances of making it to the semis? I still think we have a good enough team. I back Lungi, I back KG, I back Andile. Andile played really well in the last World Cup. I know it's in a different venue, it was in England and everything, but he played very well in the last World Cup. I feel that he deals with pressure quite well. Um, that's just my opinion of him. The problem is when he's out of form, he looks bad out of form. Um, and it's got nothing, and I think that's the problem. But a lot of the times, Antile in pressure situations has stood up. I've seen him do it a couple of times with the bat for South Africa, and I've seen him do it a couple of times with the ball. Um, I think when he gets a little bit complacent, and that's where we see a different side of Andile. He needs a little bit of pressure on him. Harley, bro, why is he saying not giving chance to Corbin Bosch, the guy performing all the country's leagues, and he was the one of the heroes in the under 19 World Cup along with Aiden KG Corbin. I think if you watch Corbin bowl domestically, I like Corbin. I've had a couple of conversations with him, and I do like the guy. But what I've noticed with his bowling is he can be a little bit all over the place. Domestically, I've seen him miss his marks and not be consistent all the time. Like almost seems like he's trying to bowl too fast and then he misses his lines and lengths. So I think he needs to top. If Corbin Bosch was topping the wickets every single season in domestic cricket, then by all means pick him. Um, but I think you need to do that, and players that are topping the wicket tallies should be rewarded for that. So yes, Bayes Swanepoel did that last season, but he's only played one season in domestic cricket. Let's see if we can repeat that because it's about consistency. I think you need one or two seasons at least to show that you can do something consistently. So that's something that we need to look at. This idea that we must just throw anybody into the international side is mind boggling to me. If our spinners won't perform, our bowling is doomed. That is true. Now that is that's 100% true. We need now more than ever. We need KG. I mean, we need Shamsi and Keshaf to show the same form that they did in this Australia series. They can't they can't mess up. There's a lot of pressure on them because we don't have an extra spinner to bring in if the two of them don't perform. Then that pressure is going to go on Aiden Markram to bowl. Rob said they will play four seamers, so why will they play two spinners? Um, Four seamers, but that includes the all rounders though. So Marco Janssen 7, Keshaf 8, KG. Yeah, he said, yeah, that's true. Um, I know he said that, but I don't think he will. I don't think he'll do that. Against India, Maka Janssen left arm bowling will be handy because India troubles against left arm pacer, especially Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. Normally, fans don't understand difference between skills of pace bowlers. People calling for Ethan need to understand that he isn't hit the deck middle over enforcer. I mean, Ethan only bowls like 130, like 130, 130. I don't even think he reached 135. Why not select players like Stubbs, Mapaka with an eye on preparing for the 2027? No, that's ludicrous to pick Mapaka now. That will be absolutely ludicrous. The boy has to play domestic cricket first. To throw him into a World Cup, sure, that will be crazy. They have plenty of time to prepare for the 2027 World Cup. There's enough international games for them to start playing those guys and getting them used to international cricket. Um, that will be crazy to throw a 17-year-old into the World Cup like that. Because if there's an injury, then he has to play. Then what? George is at the CPL. Oh, okay. Forgot about the CPL. My bad. There's too many T20 leagues for me to keep up with. It's bloody mental. Ronaldo was too overconfident, says OP Blitz. George has CPL duties. That's why it surprised me that you support United. Surprised me that you support United. I've supported United since a boy. After this World Cup, CSA should build the proper team for the future prospect for 2027 World Cup. I just hope Coach Bex, sorry, Coach Bex. I'm thinking of, you see, United, you said United, and I'm thinking of Beckham. I just hope that Coach backs Gerald now as first choice and be the enforcer in the middle overs. If we plan Dele as a middle overs bowler with our kind of spinners, we will be doomed with no wicket taking. Have a little bit of faith, Hunain. What is the point in George playing the One Day Cup? He was the highest wicket taker last season. He knows no matter how he performs, they won't pick him. It's good Anana didn't pick cricket as a sport. Guy got cash a gold. Yes. Just look how that assistant manager of Bayern, that Hungarian guy who is in charge last night, let Bayern, Musiala, and Miller completely neutralized the United wingbacks. They were on top. It's Bayern Munich guys. They world class. Ollie, what do you think they were not talking? Why they're not taking reserves and why they didn't take punt on any of the Sasanda or Andich? They would have taken their time. If not, then replace them late in the tournament. Can someone do maybe a quick search for me if other teams are also have also not picked traveling reserves or not? Linda top last season, they still didn't pick him. Linda top to what last season? The One Day Cup bowling. Is it? What is going on here? There's a problem. There's a problem though. I don't know what the problem is. So Sanda Magala topped the wickets, and then George Linder was second, yeah, and Akona Manyaka as well. 15 wickets each. Yeah, you're right. Um, I don't know what it is with George though. I still don't understand. The issue with our bowlers is that when they're good, they're on fire. If they're bad, they're terrible. No in between. That's where fan frustrations comes in. Of course, we either on a high or extreme low. That's 100% true. That's why we needed him. We needed Andy. I don't know. I don't follow United's, but it seems you guys have the same problems as Spurs in 201 in in 2021. The Braves Shamsi records against India is very poor, says Shiraj. Our bowlers don't show up when opposition attacks them. This is the same. issue which holds Shamsi back. Okay, you've said that already. I'm concerned about the power play, but you've said that already. Bayern are undefeated for 35 straight games in the group stage. Man, only Real Madrid can bully Bayern in the whole of Europe, or maybe Manchester City. Ethan and Andile is the same pace. That is also true. I'm not saying he must play, just experience an ICC event as a non-traveling reserve, but I get you. They're not. It's because they're not picking non-traveling reserves as well. England have taken the reserves, so as Australia. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know that. I don't know their reason. The only reason I could think of was that they wanted to pick based on if they're needed. So if someone gets injured, then call someone up. Um, that's the only thing that I can think of. How are you coming to Joburg for SA20 for the India or the India series? I'm trying. I'm gonna try to come to Joburg for the. Is it depends on SA20, of course. Last time organized with them, and I think the India series is going to depend if I have budget to be able to go to Pretoria for that game during that period. I will let you guys know closer to the time. I wouldn't know right now. I know Rob said he wants four paces at all times, but I do think that was with Nokia in mind. Strategy surely gets a rethink with his exclusion now. Ethan Bosch was has took wickets of quality batsmen like Josh Butler, Jason Roy, Rassi van der Tussen in SA20 with his swing. The guy has talent, and I agree with you. And the unfortunate thing is that he doesn't bowl a lot in list A cricket. Like that is the main thing. You guys are mixing up formats here, which I really don't like that. Uh, but I know I mentioned experience wise with Lazard, with T20s, and I said that he had international experience, but I wasn't talking about necessarily experience with the ball. I'm talking about more experience mentally, from a mental perspective, that he's already played the international cricket. So when it comes to Ethan, um, Ethan has barely played you barely played list A cricket last season. Um, that is the major problem I have with maybe selecting him, because if you look at the list of the year, and you see the players on this list of bowlers, I'm trying to find Ethan's name here. I'm still scrolling. Ethan played 5 games. He took 4 wickets. Um, because he didn't play all the games as well. He only took 4 wickets in his 5 games last season for the Dolphins. So he's very low on the list. The major question would be probably George Linder, I think, um, because that is a strange one that they are not even looking at him. It does make me think. Australia just dropped New Jersey for 23-24 season. Check their new T20 jersey. I want Proteas jersey to be like, nah, I don't want to look at it. I don't like Australia. Well, then they've got the money too. Do you think Markram would bowl a bit more with the injuries if the wicket is turning, or play with it? Or we play I don't think we'll play an extra batter with Rassi in the team. With Riza in the team. That's the thing. That's why I wanted an extra. Um, that's why I wanted an extra middle order batter, so that we can maybe play an extra batter in certain games. Let's pick Shampoo against. Let's pick Shampoo against Netherlands. Should make the mistake like last. Who? Shampoo. What? But Al should be there too, because he is experienced cricketer and he has experience. Now that was a shocker too for me. I think Rob missed the trick of not having genuine pace bowler, someone like the Pavlan or Nandeberg. I don't know why Proteas don't go out of the box. Lorenzo says, our batting for me is a massive concern. Yes, they're good the last 3 games, but that was batting first. We're not chasing in World Cups, and that's where will come struggle massively. Riza says absolutely no way I can understand Lazard Williams being in the side. Parnell should have walked into the team. Parnell is injured currently though, um, as far as I know. Um, as far as I know, even though the Rob did say that Wayne Parnell, it, it wouldn't have been Wayne Parnell if there was an injury. No, it's not because of his injury that he wasn't selected. That's what the Rob said in the presser, which shocked me. But at the moment, he is injured, so he's not really an option to select him. Guys like Rassi a lot. I like Rassi a lot, and a big well done to him for getting 3 for the ODI rankings. But how is that? How is he that high up? Because he's consistent. It's only in the last couple of games for South Africa that he's been poor, but before that he was brilliant. Ethan Bosch needs to play SAA games first and get his pace up. The likes of Kohli and Gill will feast on his 125 km per hour bowling. People want to throw the young guys. Want to throw the young guys to the wolves. Lorenzo, why is he making TikToks if he's injured? I had no idea he was injured. Yeah, that's unfortunate one. We need 6 wins out of 9 to be the semi-finalist. I know Proteas have terrible records against Pakistan, India in ICC events, so we can only afford one more loss. Will we see Geoff in the Proteas jersey ever again? I don't know. That's something I can't tell you. I tried everything to try and get the story about that and see where they're thinking, what their thinking is. We've asked in press conferences. I've got George Linder on the show to ask him himself. Just can't. We just can't. We just can't get him. We get the story. It's madness. Shamo Khalid, we didn't pick Shamsi against Netherlands last World Cup. Shamo, yeah, we should have picked him. That was crazy. Anyway, when CSA going to launch World Cup kit of Proteas team, it was launched already. That was the latest kit. I think that's the World Cup kit, the one that we played in now. I think I'll give it 5 games in the World Cup, and we'll see Riza walking in at 7. Mark my words. Yeah, probably. Uh, Bowling stocks is concerning. No genuine quality paces to compete with the likes of Siraj, Cummins, etc. If Marco and Rabada have a poor showing in the World Cup, we'll be easy picking for conceding 350. Yeah, it is a bit of a concern now. I mean, Andrik Nokia was a key player for us. We were all hoping, player of the year for Cricket South Africa. Quick, Yorker's brilliant. I mean, I could see something was wrong in this Australia series. He was a bit off. He didn't have his normal rhythm. Rana says, I just hope that the batters get their spin game up because Sri Lanka will have Rasaranga, Walege, and Tishkana coming at us that first game. We're playing at Delhi too, which is generally is dry. Yeah. Aditya's going to be writing an article in the latest issue, the next issue on the World Cup edition of the magazine, where he goes and digs in a little bit or goes and does some research on the different grounds and what they'll offer. Unai, I sometimes wonder why there is no hard questions asked from selector or coach when he selects such as out of balance squad. Just imagine such selections from India. They never answer the questions though. Like we do ask them, but they don't really give us proper answer. I'm still trying to figure out the reason for the omission of Linda. Guy performs well every season domestically. I don't know if it. We had a conversation with him on the show, and he gave us as much truth as he could, and we still didn't get much out of it, to be honest with you. Asaranga, might be out of the World Cup. Asaranga's injured. Interesting one, that one. I know it depends on conditions, but if you had to pick your best 11 now, assuming the wicket turns, who do we pick? Then, my top six, simple. Then 7 is Marco Janssen. 8 for me will be Keshav Maharaj. 9 will be um, Lungingiri, KG Rabada. 10 will be Lungingiri, and 11 will be Shamo. That will be my best 11. Aren't we playing first game in Mumbai, which is a road? I didn't check the fixtures in detail yet. It's too far out for me. Um, I knew they're gonna do this. Stupid. Um, no man, what the hell are you doing? Um, we're playing in Delhi the first game. Uh, first two games, oops, will be key. We win both games, and we are in contention. Asalanga is out. Harley, you need to get Dian Foster on the show. I did. I messaged him. The guys didn't respond to me on. Well, when I messaged him there, I might have to message him somewhere else. Give me this. Um, I want to get him on the show. I wanted to get him on the show this week. Actually, today I wanted to get him on the show. I'm gonna try again. Message him quickly. I'm gonna copy the other message. Too lazy to write it out. Um, yeah, it's someone I want to get on the show. I want to talk to him. He looks like a great prospect for the future. But I don't want to read too much into it because I know it's Division 2. I don't know disrespect to Division 2, but if he was doing that in Division 1, then definitely. Even Pommy Mbangwa, who's been going to India for years now, said SA will be ignorant of if they play only one spinner. He also said we allow complicating things, especially with our bowling. Khalid, why is it that only if we could not go deep in this World Cup, only the Rob will realize about his selection blunders like an extra batter or 5 paces? Yeah. Khalid, did you see that New Zealand are trying to give batsmen entrance songs like WWE? Someone come out to John Cena's song. Are you serious? I didn't see that. Wow, that's bad. Imagine that. Someone coming out to Stone Cold song. Khalid, please bring Donovan on the show too, if possible. Um, I'll message Donovan sometime, especially if he performs in this list A. I'll message him. Delhi, we can never afford to go in with one spinner. Khalid, you reckon Bjorn to have been unlucky to have missed out? I think he was unlucky to miss out. I do think so. I thought that they would pick Bjorn as a backup. I definitely did think they would. Um, like I said, I would have picked an extra batter that can maybe add 1 or 2, 3 overs to share the responsibility with Aiden Markram a bit, like a Stubbs or a Donovan or someone like. I know Donovan hasn't played List A cricket either, but he's played some T20 cricket now, and he played really well against Australia. It might have been a little bit of a risk, like Cheryl Kutsia, but I would have given Donovan a run in the ODIs and see, that would have been a brilliant option at 7 or at 8. At 7, sorry, not at 8. Then we have Donovan Ferreira at 7 and Marco Janssen at 8. That would be flipping deadly. Dian Forrest is only 22. Holly Brothers still doing wonders in his matches. Yep. Someone's going to pick him up. Some big clubs, no, big province is going to pick him up next season. If he can continue doing what he's doing. Who do we play in the warm ups and when? I think I did have it here saved somewhere. Here we go. Proteas warm ups. So we play New Zealand on Monday. Okay, sorry. We start with Friday. We play Afghanistan Friday. Don't ask me to pronounce this name. I've been trying to do it. I'm not doing it live again because I made a fool of myself last time. And then we play New Zealand on the 2nd of October. Those are the two games that we're playing in the warm ups just to get you guys know. Hardy played our last ODI in Indian Delhi. We got bowled out for 94. Oh God, guys, don't let me lose my optimism. You know that I'm the I'm always optimistic about this team, always. So please don't let me lose my optimism. Donovan may have been a good wild card selection. Donovan would have been brilliant at seven, more sixes, less fours. Harley, thanks for always providing us with cricket content, even when we play bad. Buddy, I didn't know. I don't know. To me, cricket is not being promoted enough in the country. No ads. I can't even buy a shirt. Any thoughts? Exactly, bro. No ads. You know how we struggling to get ads, to get sponsors and ads for cricket. I mean, Cricket Fanatics magazine. I mean, we struggling at the moment to get ads and stuff like that because there's only really betting companies and alcohol companies that want to offer us stuff, and unfortunately, I can't take that. It's against my morals and my beliefs, so I can't do that. The warm ups will be televised as well. We should wear pink jersey because we win always. So reserves will be playing one day cup. Do you think we have a change in this World Cup? Do you think we can win both the rugby and World Cup? Imagine that. Um, can a pan really change the squads up until the 28th of September for any reason? Reserves haven't been named either. Yeah, so that's the reason, obviously, why we're not going to. We, that's why we probably seeing now who's going to perform in this first couple of List A games, and if there's a need for it, then they'll probably be call people up. Holly, will they be in New Jersey for the World Cup? I think the one that we played in now is our World Cup jersey, from my understanding. I still don't forget how Holly got mad after our. Yeah, yo, I was angry. Yes, that's like I think that was one of the best streams that we've done. The highest views. Maybe I must get more angry more often. In the Australia series tomorrow, we give us window to see what kind of pitches and amount of dew. Standard Bank dropped Proteus because they were losing too much. There was a lot of factors there. Whatever happens, but don't lose to Dutch in the World Cup at all. You're gonna see me rage again. I'm heading out, guys. Have a good night. Thanks, Hardy, for the show. Yeah, I'm also gonna be heading out soon. Um, Anyway, so guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're close to 4,000 subscribers. Click that notification bell for all future videos as well. We're so close, guys. We're like 20 away, 18 away, or something like that. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'd also want you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also support us because and keep things going here at Cricket Fanatics by becoming a patron today. Smash the like button, comment, and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys very, very, very soon. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.